What is up, guys? Sound Alchemist here, and today I'm bringing you 40 facts on the Death Guard that have just been released by GW. So I greatly recommend you guys go over there and buy some awesome Plague Marines. Those guys are tough, resilient, and those two words mean the same thing. But no, honestly, pick up the codex. It's awesome. The artwork in there is insane. It's disgusting. It's awesome. I said awesome already because this is a really awesome thing. I'm honestly on the verge of collecting Death Guard. That's how awesome they are. So yeah, go check it out. But in the meantime, let's learn a little bit more on the awesome miniatures and legions of the Death Guard. So let's dive into that lore. The Noxious Blightbringers. Heralds of pestilence and misery, noxious Blightbringers pace solemnly before the Death Guard advance. They proclaim the arrival of Mortarian suns through the trolling of their rusted toxins of misery, hell-forged bells of massive size, whose peals ring through both reality and the warp. The primary role of these noxious Blightbringers is to sow dismay and weakness amidst the enemy ranks. The dissonance of their chiming bells sends waves of entropy rolling across the battlefield to batter not only the enemy's physical senses, but their souls. The blessing of Nurgle's manifest wherever the toxin's waves hit home, each thunderous toll wearing the foe down bit by bit, spreading sickness and corruption. In close proximity, the empiric peals that roll from the noxious Blightbringer's torments enemies' psychers. Not only must these unfortunates deal with the violent waves that threaten to overwhelm their tightly controlled abilities, but they must also face the corruption of the very powers they wield. Gnawing warp maggots wriggle into being within the minds of those psychers who show weakness, chewing hungrily upon their new host's sanity until the victim is driven mad. Next up, we have the Lords of Contagion. A Lord of Contagion leads his followers into battle from the front. A mighty warlord in a blade-horned helm and slime-smeared Terminator armor, he embodies the diseased resilience of his traitor legion. Few weapons have stopping power to even slow a Lord of Contagion as he lumbers across the battlefield, let alone lay him low. By comparison, every unstoppable swing of this warrior's saw-bladed axe sends blood spraying and splattering fans, and reduces enemy warriors to ripped and mangled cadavers, crawling with disease. These Lords of Contagion are commanders that are supremely confident in the abilities of their diseased followers to absorb any amount of punishment and still prevail. They embody the swift-spreading plague that tears through the doomed crowd, killing indiscriminately and leaving mounds of dead bodies in their wake. The Malignant Plague Casters. They fill the air with billowing filth. With every gurgling inhalation, they draw lungfuls of noxious vapors from Nurgle's hellish gardens, before blowing them out in phlegm-thick clouds that can rot a man to the bone in mere seconds. The effect of such noxious clouds upon mortal victims are immediate and hideous. Warriors collapse, choking upon their own rotting lungs, even as their flesh blackens and liquefies. Armor corrodes, and weapons spark and sputter as they are eaten away. Even sealed fortifications offer no protection. The plague casters' fumes eat away metal and stone as easily as they do flesh. The Pox Walkers. Shambling across the battlefield in reeking hordes, Pox Walkers engulf their enemies in rotting tides of grasping hands, gnashing teeth, and squirming tentacles. They are the cursed victims of Nurgle's plagues, transformed into unliving weapons by the cruel masters of the Death Guard. Victims of this walking pox find their bodies rotting and shutting down until eventually death takes them. However, this is not the end, merely the beginning. The victims remains cruelly conscious and aware, trapped from within their corpse as it reanimates with a rictus grin and staggers out in search of living victims. Many inquisitors of the Ordo Sepulchrum hypothesize that the walking pox is a variant of Nurgle's rot, for its victims' flesh mutates even after death, sprouting horn-like growths from their skulls, similar to those of the plague bearers. In large numbers, these slouching corpse mutants can prove incredibly dangerous, overrunning enemy lines, then gnawing, bludgeoning, and ripping their screaming victims apart in bloody orgies of mindless violence. The Folded Bloat Drones. Laboring through the air on buzzing turbines, this bloat drone drifts towards the enemy like an armored plague fly. Driven by the trapped essence of a Nurgle demon, this hideous war engine closes to point-blank range before dousing its victims in its virulent foulness. Clad in rusting plates of wrought iron armor, their hulls overflow with flabby foulness. Foated bloat drones can withstand ferocious amounts of punishments and still keep on fighting. They are designed to hover in close, drifting lazily through the densest battlefield terrains to provide supporting fire for all the warriors of Nurgle. And then we come to the Plague Marines. No traitor legion stands as high in Nurgle's favor as the Death Guard. Swollen with the Plague God's blessings, and utterly devoted to the corruption of real space, the hulking Plague Marines that comprise their mainstay despoil all in their path, while chanting praise to their gruesome patron. Decaying within their armor, Plague Marine bodies have long since become immune to pain or fatigue. Their living flesh fuses directly with their chaos-twisted power armor, forming a disgustingly resilient whole. Those who plunge blades or claws into the Plague Marine's forms will be fortunate to do any sort of meaningful damage, and may well find their weapons trapped between sucking folds of rancid fat. In return, the Plague Marine's every blow is delivered with clubbing strength, their every shot well-placed and explosively deadly. Grime-encrusted bulgers roar as they spew volleys of self-propelled bolts into the enemy, mowing them down like corn before a scythe. Foul plague knives are driven into the foe, and seething toxins that befoul the blades turn flesh black with rot, and clotting blood into sludge. Blight grenades lop end over end through the air, bursting in great showers of pathogenic spores and pestilent slime. Like a swung sledgehammer, the Plague Marines drive unstoppingly through the enemy ranks, their rusted boots grinding flesh and bone as they catch the foe in expert fire spreads and relentless overlapping advances. The Plague Marines chuckle wetly through clogged Vox grills, flies buzzing and choking clouds about them as they bring Nurgle's wrath to their foes. And with that, that brings us to the end of yet another 40 Facts video. Today we went over all the nastiness that is the Death Guard. These guys are extremely tough, really awesome looking if you're into like plagues and horror and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty cool because Halloween's right around the corner. So that being said, go to your nearest GW and pick up a copy of the codex for the Death Guard. Gameplay wise, they're really tough, really resilient. They don't have any negative multipliers for moving and firing heavy weapons, so they're just gonna slowly lumber towards your lines, and since they're so tough, not a lot are gonna die, so they're gonna wreak havoc pretty much anything they go up against. Now something that really intrigues me is that Mortarion is back, one of the demon Primarchs, so we could finally figure out what he's been doing this whole time and what he plans to do in the future. I'm pretty sure he's gonna go at Gilliman, and maybe, just maybe, we get to see some Primarch on Primarch action. That is, Demon Primarch on Demon Primarch action, because as we all know, Mortarion hates Psykers, so maybe we get a little glimpse of him fighting Magnus the Red. Who knows? It's just one of my awesome thoughts that I'm having in my head, having these two guys fight one another. But anyway, that's just more speculation than anything, so let us know in the comments what other topics you guys want us to cover, and we'll go from there. Now don't forget, there are giveaways going on this week, so if you go back for the Greater Walls, we talk about how Kyle has reached on over to us. He's directing a movie called ZombieCon. So if you guys want to learn more about that, it's about 4 cosplayers who basically have to kill some asshole zombies. Again, guys, go check out our Greater Walls. All you gotta do is like, comment, and be a subscriber, and you guys can get some awesome 40k stuff via Kyle. So go ahead and check out his movie trailer. Links will be down in the description below. And yeah, we'll go from there. Don't forget, guys, we do have a Facebook, Patreon, Instagram, not an Instagram, a Twitter, and check us out over there. But yeah, that's all I've got for you guys. As always, I'm the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.